Guys, today's discussion and this video I'm making for all the study visa holders who are trying to go to New Zealand on a study visa. Now, the major issue, there are two types of declines in immigration New Zealand. Either immigration New Zealand declines a visa application based on your funds if they're not able to verify your funds. Second issue, they decline the visa application based on your interview notes, right? Now, most of the declines are happening where there is a verification branch in Delhi, and then they decline your visa application saying we are not satisfied with your interview. The reasons they give is student is not clear on your career goals, student was not able to give us details how his existing studies are related to his future goals, for example. There are a lot of declines in terms of we are not able to trust the students whether he's going to be back to India again, for example. So I'm just going to give you guidance in terms of how to prepare for an interview. Interview is not something that you should be panicked about. Interview is something that you should be very honest and open in your answers. Do not butter up, because same immigration officers, they are interviewing 100 people every day, right? So they know who is telling truth, and they are not robotics. They are not robots. They are also human beings. They are also Kiwis. They are also Indians sitting in Delhi doing the verification and interview calls. So no need to bullshit around. Everybody know why he is going to New Zealand, right? So I'm going to go through a step-by-step guidance in terms of what answers to give, how to give those answers, how to articulate those answers. Now, you don't have to give too many answers or too big answers. You don't have to be too sharp in your answers, right? So I'm going to go different questions, different answers. You can listen to my video and you can listen to this 100 times if you want, but make sure your answers are genuine answers. So initially, Immigration New Zealand will be asking you your full name, passport number, mother name, father name, and things like that. But the major questions where people really get stuck, they will be asking you, is your course relevant to your previous studies? So you should be able to answer. For example, if you are a plus 2 student with mathematics, for example, and if you're going to a relevant course, you should give a clear answer. Why I'm choosing this course? Because I have studied this physics, chemistry, mathematics, bio, or I have done arts in plus 2, and I've chosen this course. Maybe some people are good in sales and marketing. Then you should give your answers. Why you're doing sales and marketing? Because you like it. You're not doing cooking. You don't like cookery. You don't like construction or quantity surveying. You like this. Or maybe somebody has done bachelor's. Somebody has done bachelor's in teaching, B.Ed. They may be going for masters in teaching. Then you can simply answer, yes, this is related to my courses that I studied, and this is why I'm going in this course. So no need to panic about it. Just give a very clean answer. Why are you choosing this course? Basically, it's related to your previous studies. And when you come to us to get a visa done through Zero Immigration, normally we give you very relevant course to your studies. We don't just give you honky-dory or random course. Course is always given, and that is also part of your SOP. Now, they will be asking you, what are your major subjects in previous studies? So you should be able to answer what were your major, what you're going to be studying in your future course. And I personally believe any student visa holder who want to get a study visa done, they should go online, they should go through the courses, they should go to the content, and then they should answer. यार अगर आप कहीं भी फॉरेन कंट्री में बाहर जा रहे हैं पढ़ने के लिए, तो आपका फर्ज बनता है, you go on a website of institution, आपके courses पढ़ो, देखो कौन से courses हैं, what are the content of those courses and what you gonna get out of those courses. NZQA की website में जाओ, that is the regulatory body who issues the qualifications. When you finish your studies, then your marks go to NZQA, New Zealand Qualification Authority, will issue you the course, final transcript and the qualification, for example. So that you should answer very clearly कि ये मेरे course हैं, ये मैं पढ़ने जा रहा हूँ. Very openly, honestly, very briefly you answer that. Now they can also ask that if you're changing the course, for example, if you're changing your line of study from this to this, they may ask you why did you change. Then you should have an answer why, depending on why. If you're going from sales and marketing to accounting, आप बोल सकते हैं कि sales and marketing में मैं करता था, I still learn it, I do know it, but my hand is a bit tight with the numbers. So I want to have accountancy degree or qualification, so at least I can be a good solid professional with sales and marketing and accounting experience. So that you can do. So you should be able to answer that, and then you must have written as part of your SOP in any way. Then they will ask you who wrote the SOP, but typically speaking you should write your own SOP. ठीक है, हम help करते हैं, we help to write SOPs and others, we polish it up, but you should also write handwritten SOP. Then you will learn more and more if you do a handwritten SOP. Now, if they ask you who guided you in SOP, you can openly say my immigration advisor and Zealand Immigration, who's doing my study visa, they guided me on a SOP because I didn't know how to write it. So they told me, this is how you need to write it. These are the headings that you need to cover it up, and this is how you need to write SOP. Because obviously, for me to write an SOP, I written it, I know how to write it. I can explain to you, but I needed a guidance. So they guided me, and for that purpose, I've hired them. So they guided me to write SOP. Another question they ask is, why did you choose New Zealand for further studies? Now, you should have that answer. एक तो तरीका है कि आप bluntly बोल दो, हाँ जी, New Zealand बड़ा अच्छा है जी, ये है जी, वो है जी, and all those things. Otherwise, you should give a plain answer. You should say, look, in terms of English-speaking countries, New Zealand, Australia, UK, Canada, US, these are the options I have, right? Now, जो +2 pass वाले हैं, bachelors वाले हैं, they can say कि US is very expensive. My dad cannot afford for me to go to US and study. And US is mostly for master's courses. Lot of Indian students goes to US. When I say lot means maximum or majority Indian students go to US to do masters in IT and others. And they go after having a bachelor from a reputed institutions. So depending on the outcome, you can just say that my criteria does not meet US universities, because getting admission into good US unis is very difficult. You really need to score high marks, A+, A or B+. Then you need to do a certain test called SAT or GMAT, for example, and things like that. So that process of going to US on a study visa is also tedious. It's not that easy. Plus, people go for masters. So, अगर आप +2 pass हैं, अगर डिप्लोमा पे जा रहे हैं, अगर आप बैचलर में जा रहे हैं, then you can easily say that, hey, look, I don't qualify for US, or US is too expensive, मैं जाना नहीं चाहता. Canada में you can just say that, look, based on a lot of negative publicity on the Canadian education system, recently I lost my confidence in Canada. Australia, you can say कि Australia doesn't accept a gap. अगर आपका gap है तो बोल दो. Yeah, Australia is also expensive. I considered all my options. So you should be able to give a reasons. यार, UK में जाना नहीं चाहते आप because there's no future settlement. Or you can openly tell immigration New Zealand, and New Zealand is the only country which gives settlements to the graduates and opportunity to the graduates, because immigration New Zealand है, और New Zealand is ऐसी country है where after diploma also they're giving you open job search visa for 6 months or so, right? And then after masters 3 years open visa. So there's a lot of settlement options for graduates. You tell them openly क्यों आपने New Zealand select किया. जो हम आपको बताते हैं काउंसलिंग में, बताओ. Just be honest. अगर आप honest होंगे तो visa approval chances extra हैं. If you just beat around the bush, they will not approve your visa. So tell openly why New Zealand. ठीक है? And why you didn't pursue your studies further in India. अगर मेरे को पूछें, if I was a +2 student and diploma and going to degree, मैं बोलूँगा यार इंडिया में भी सेम ही खर्चा हो रहा है. If you want to study in Indian institutions in Symbiosis or law school or Chitkara or universities in North India or South India or Bangalore, private institutions also costing 30-40 lakhs to do a bachelor. इतना की खर्चा बाहर आता है, for example. So you can just say that because cost is quite similar to study in a reputed institution in India, and New Zealand I'm getting exposure ना, exposure भी तो मिल रहा है foreign country में पढ़ने का. I'm away from the home, I'll be independent, I'll be a better graduate, I'll be better employee after coming out of my graduation, which is why I'm going to study in New Zealand. ऐसा नहीं है कि मैं इंडिया में नहीं पढ़ सकता. There are good institutions in India. I didn't get a government selection. मैंने कोई entrance test नहीं दिया, so I'm going for New Zealand, because if I compare New Zealand and India, being a private tertiary education, similar cost, and I suggest that New Zealand is a better choice because I'll be independent, I'll be a self-qualified man or a girl who will be able to get the job once she finishes her studies, and Indian employees will look forward to have a New Zealand qualified people. So that is there. They can ask why did you choose this institution, so you should be able to answer why. देखो बहुत सारे इंस्टीट्यूशन है, हम आपको गाइड करते हैं, ऑफर लेटर यहाँ से ले लो, यहाँ से ले लो, यहाँ से ले लो, बट यू शुड बी एबल टू गिव अ क्लियर कट आंसर. काफी बच्चे हमारे पास आते हैं जी मैंने ऑकलैंड में जाना है बिकॉज मेरा कजन ब्रदर उधर है, तो गिव मी ऑप्शन. सो यू कैन जस्ट से लुक, इन न्यूजीलैंड आई हैड लॉट ऑफ ऑप्शंस. आई कुड हैव गॉन टू वेलिंगटन, आई कुड हैव गॉन टू वाइकाटो, हैमिल्टन, रोटरua, ऑल क्राइस्टचर्च, बट आई ओनली chose institution within Auckland. Auckland में मेरे पास 2-3 ऑप्शन थी, मैंने ये सिलेक्ट की, इसलिए सिलेक्ट की. गिव अ रियल आंसर. यू मस्ट नॉट बीट अराउंड द बुश. सच्चा आंसर दो जो है 2 लाइन का. देन हु स्पॉन्सरिंग एजुकेशन, कौन फंड्स यूज कर रहा है, कैसे पापा ने पैसे आए, ऑल दोस आंसर्स यू शुड गिव ऑल क्लीन आंसर्स. व्हाट इज गोइंग टू स्टडी, व्हाट इज गोइंग टू बी इन योर स्टडी वीजा प्रोग्राम, कितने दिन कोर्स है, क्लासेस कितने दिन होती है, ये हमारे से पूछो आप. अगर हम नहीं बताया तो हम बताएंगे आपको, राइट? So you should have a very clear answers in that. how long is the course, you should know. Now they may also ask will you be back to India after your qualification? I'm going to say the answer though, yeah. Like, see, after qualifying my degree, my diploma, or if somebody is going for diploma, he should say, look, I'm going for diploma, I may do a degree also, but I will decide once I spend my 1 year in New Zealand. Degree wale bol sakte hain, see, I have an option. After my degree, I'll have a 3 years open visa, right? I will decide whether I want to explore job opportunities on those 3 years open visa in New Zealand, or should I move to Australia, or I'm going to go back to India. I don't know yet. That's 3 years ahead. My whole goal and purpose now is to get the best job done in my bachelor degree or the qualification that I'm going for. If I'm going for diploma, I will give my best shot for diploma, and then I'll decide on a degree course or coming back to India or here and there. But if I'm going for degree, I'll decide, I'll have options. Immigration New Zealand has given a pathway that I would be able to get an open work visa. I will be able to work in any employer, but I will decide whether I want to stay there or come to India. But surely India is, they may ask a question, why should we believe that we'll be back to India? You can just say, I'm an Indian citizen, Indian passport holder, India is my country, my home is in India, my friends are in India, my parents are in India, my relatives are in India. I have spent 20 years of my career and my life, or 25 years or 30 years, depending on how old you are. I spent all my life in India. मैं कहाँ जाऊँगा? If you think about it, even animals comes home, human beings will, where would they go? They will come home only. I maybe expat guy, I could be a migrant for the duration of my study visa, but ultimately home is home, right? And the life is here in India, where I built my life and my friends and my schooling and my +2. So I will be back to India if I don't have any opportunity, but if I get opportunities after 1 year, after 2 years in New Zealand, in UK, Australia, then I'll explore those opportunities. Human beings is a dynamic person, right? Human beings, the creation and creature is like that. Human beings decide their options as they go through. But for now, my target is to study, get my studies done. And if I cannot sustain over there and don't get opportunities, then India is full of opportunities these days under the current government. India is growing and it's going to be a developed nation by 2047. It's an incredible India, and I love my India, I love my country, my people, my friends, my family. Surely I will be back because there will be no reason for me to stay there. So that should be your answer. How this program will help you for career development, then you should answer, because that's a part of the SOP. Kyun ja rahe hain is course mein? But depending on the course, for example, what would you do after finishing your study? You should have a clear answer. If you have option to get an open job search visa, then you should give that answer. If you're going for bachelor, you should give that answer. Depending on your course and your options, you ask us and give a real answer, one-liner answer. And how will you apply your learned internationally in home country? How they may ask, whatever qualification you're studying, how would you apply that in India or anywhere else? So same answer. See, once I qualified, I'll see what my options are, and this is a part of my tertiary education. Whatever I learn, whatever the talent I have already, all the skills I'm learning as part of my qualification, I will apply all my life, because this is the groundwork I'm doing for my whole career. How will you fund your living expenses that you already know? Enough funds to support that you already know, because you must be sponsoring through your dad or a loan. How would we believe that you will be back to India? I already answered the question, how to answer that. What are your immediate family members? That'll be easy. Relatives is easy. IELTS score you already know. What countries do you consider? That I already told you. How you need to compare your 5 countries. Who's your advisor? That you should know. Gaurav, Soni and Zero Immigration. How do you plan to adapt your life in New Zealand? That you should know. In terms of your city, online देखो, आजकल तो WhatsApp है, Instagram है, Facebook है, ग्रुप्स में मेंबर बन जाओ, चैटिंग पढ़ो, ट्रेड मी वेबसाइट है, सीख है जॉब ढूंढने के लिए. So there's a lot of options. But जो एक स्टडी वीजा का इंटरव्यू है, I recommend again and again, do not give any honky dory, bullshitting around answer. Just stay very clean, very crisp, and real. That's what they're asking. They want real answer. Interview, if people give real answer, I can tell you 100% approval rate if they give a real answers. When people just bullshit around, then they don't give a visa approval, they decline it. So best of luck, guys. Just listen to this interview again and again. Note down my things, and then make sure you answer based on your course, your career, your subjects, your background, your application, and based on your documents. Thank you so much.